This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill, too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
In a world where January is supposed to be boring, one staple of the holidays refuses to end. The great deals at Verizon. The joy just keeps on coming. Right now, you can save on 4 new phones and 4 lines. Critics agree it's the deal that keeps on giving. Come into Verizon and save on 4 new phones and 4 lines on unlimited welcome. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
Hello and welcome to this very special bonus episode of Real Life Ghost Stories. Today I am joined by the lovely Claire from the YouTube channel Don't Scare Claire. On her YouTube channel, Claire shares paranormal stories, ghostly encounters and grisly tales from history. So if you love to get your learning on and prefer the stories behind history's most chilling paranormal legends, then Don't Scare Claire is the YouTube channel for you. She covers everything from dark history and real-life haunted houses to creepy urban legends and the best kinds of bedtime stories, ghost stories. Claire releases a video every single week, so please go and check out her channel Don't Scare Claire. Now, as always, the links to where you can find everything Don't Scare Claire related will be in the description of this episode. And I think you guys, you listeners, are responsible for this collaboration. So thank you. Because it was an absolute joy to speak to Claire. Obviously, we spoke about everything horror films related. We spoke about being absolute nerds when it comes to the history behind hauntings and everything in between. And as always, this episode was recorded remotely, so the mic quality might sound a little different than usual, but it still should be absolutely fine. Thank you so much for checking out Don't Scare Claire. Please make sure that you go and check her out on YouTube. Her content is fabulous. I really enjoy it. And let's get into it. And I am joined today in the virtual studio by the wonderful Claire. Claire, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Emma. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's Sunday afternoon. We're here recording a podcast. Can you tell me a bit about yourself, who you are and what you do?
Yes, so my name is Claire, and for the last just over 2 years now, I've been running the YouTube channel Don't Scare Claire, where I talk about the history behind haunted places, as well as the things that real people have experienced in them. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
So Don't Scare Claire is like new on my radar. I think our watchers/listeners were like, please collab. And I started watching your videos, and like I said to you before we started recording, they're just divine. It's just like gorgeous storytelling, great visuals. It's really simple, really effective, and I absolutely love it. And I'm sort of like going through your back catalogue and being like, oh, I want to watch that video. That's interesting. So I'm really enjoying it, and I do think, you know, from the off that Real Life Ghost Stories listeners, if they haven't listened to you, they definitely, or haven't watched your YouTube channel, they definitely should. But before we get into any of the nitty gritty, what is your favorite horror film and why?
I agonized over this question for so long. So basically I was raised on movies. My dad was he was more of a sci-fi sort of guy, but we did sort of dabble in horror, and I think purely for the nostalgia and because it shaped my childhood. And I think he was my first crush before I knew what a crush was. It has got to be The Lost Boys, and Kiefer Sutherland as David. Not in anything else, not in Kiefer Sutherland in anything else, but Kiefer Sutherland as David. And yeah, Lost Boys, it's what I put on all of the time. The soundtrack, the vibes, it is just absolutely the one.
Oh, The Lost Boys. I've never had that answer before, and it's a great answer. I only watched it for the first time as an adult. And I was like,
Yeah.
kind of preteen me would have loved this. Do you know what I mean? And I could
Yeah.
see as an adult that it is still great and all of that jazz. Who's your least favorite character in The Lost Boys?
It's got to be the Frog Brothers, because they're ruining the fun. So like, what are you doing? Stop. Let the vampires be.
If you had to add like a genuine, not that The Lost Boys isn't scary, because it is scary in its own way. If you were to add like a real terrifying horror film to the list of favorite horror films, what would it be?
I did have to sleep with the light on after watching the first Sinister. That one really got me. It's just the creepy kids for me, and it was there was a lot of darkness in there. And why are you looking at that creepy film like in the dark? Stop doing that. But yeah,
do it in the day. Actually, it's a really good point. Do it in the day. Stop watching it in the attic in the dark.
Exactly. Stop doing that. Like, at this point, you deserve what happened to you.
I feel that too. I often am watching horror films and I'm like, well, you're just opening a door here, you know, and every part of your body should be telling you, maybe I should watch this creepy film in the kitchen during the day, maybe when nobody else is in the house. I'll allow that, but don't stop doing these things in the dark in the attic, because you're just inviting the Hat Man in or whatever, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. And again, that soundtrack, that stuck with me for a long time. So anytime I hear that, I just get goosebumps. I'm like, no, we're not doing that again.
No, I'm not sleeping with the light on again. No, thank you.
No, only just turn the night light off, thanks.
Well, to be honest, I sleep with a night light every night. So I'm all for people sleeping with night lights.
Yeah, that is totally fair. I have an eye mask instead. So if I wake up, I can't see the shadow man at the end of my bed. So it's fine. I'll just go back to sleep.
You're like, sleep paralysis doesn't bother me, because if I can't see it doesn't matter.
Exactly. You could be there. You could not be. I don't know.
So could you tell us a bit more about Don't Scare Claire? What is the general premise and why did you start it? I'm always fascinated as to why people start these things.
It's kind of a little bit of a long story, but I quit my 9 to 5 back in like 2021. And me and my husband, we had this like marketing agency thing. So he was doing sort of like paid, really analytical stuff. And I was writing blogs and things and doing organic marketing for clients. And I did not want to carry on doing that for the rest of my life. I was just seeing this stretch out. I was like, I've already escaped the office. Like, this is it. Like, nah, I'm not okay with that. So I have always been obsessed with ghosts and things. I think like all of us that are in this sort of space have always been from a young age. So I kind of wanted to do something with that. And back when me and my husband were like still dating, one of our date nights would be binge watching ghost adventures, just like one after the other. But it wasn't because of Zach Bagans running around in the dark screaming demons. It was for like the history of each location, and when he was interviewing witnesses and things like that. That's the bit I loved the most. So much so that it came to the point where I was actually skipping through the quote unquote investigations kind of thing. And it wasn't until I watched an episode of somewhere that I was familiar with and they started talking about the history. I was like, no, that's been debunked. That didn't actually happen. And I can't remember which one it was because I have a lot to thank for that particular episode. But that was the moment where I was like, right, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and build this up alongside what I was doing already. And yeah, I put my first video out on the 1st of October 2023, which was 28 days before we actually got married. So that was a cool time to launch a YouTube channel. Would not recommend to do that. But yeah, from there, it's been an incredible journey so far of like looking into different places. Every week is something new. So I'm learning something different. And literally every week my husband just gets like, oh my God, did you know this? And like, oh, this happened. And oh, I've just found this out. So he gets like all the exclusive little bits of information before they go into videos. But yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, just looking at the history and people's real stories.
I used to do the same thing with Ghost Adventures. I would watch for the history and then I'd be like, boo, don't care about the investigation. It's always a demon. That's what they always say is I don't care. I already know what's going to happen. But I used to love the stories about the particular news. That's the bit I loved too. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I don't care that you've got flashing lights going off.
No, I don't care. I don't care that you've got a REM pod or whatever it's called. It doesn't interest me.
No.
And there is a frustration when you know a location or a venue and they say something and you're like, no, that's not real. That's not true. So you're obviously a spooky girl and you are interested in spooky stuff. Have you had a paranormal experience that you'd be willing to share?
So yes, and I haven't actually had a chance to talk about this publicly yet.
Ooh, exclusive.
Yes, because it only just happened last month. And it was just so weird. So we went to the Jamaica Inn down in Cornwall, and we did one of their paranormal investigations. So it was like a private thing. There was just investigators there. It wasn't like a public sort of ticketed one. And throughout the entire night, everything was pretty quiet. There wasn't really much going on. The people that had been there the night before, they were like, oh, it was so active. There was things going off and noises and all this sort of stuff. We were getting nothing. All in the haunted bedrooms, all in like the actual bar, which is like really old and everything, nothing. And so it was about 1 a.m, maybe, and it was kind of a last ditch Hail Mary. We went into the newer part of the building, which is like at the back sort of thing. And it's like where they've got their restaurant now. And we were all sat around a circular table in the middle, and the woman that's kind of like runs the paranormal at the Jamaica Inn, Corinne, she told Mr. DSE, my husband, to go and stand out into the corridor where supposedly these ghost children will come and hold your hand and everything. So he was out doing that, and we could hear where he was. And I was looking down at the table, and Corinne said something, and I just happened to look up at Corinne, but over her shoulder, I could see like right to the far wall of this restaurant. And it was, people say always like, oh, I don't really know what I saw, but I know what I saw. It was a man was standing there, and it was like a silhouetted man, completely solid black, head and shoulders. And I looked up, I saw him, and then just like that, fraction of a second, he was gone. It was like, oh, I definitely did just see that, but maybe I didn't because it's like 1 a.m. and stuff is weird. But already I could still hear Mr. DSE was still out in this corridor. He wasn't in that room. And so much so that I was like, I didn't mention it at the time because I'm like, maybe I really didn't see it and I was just tired and everything. So I slept on it and then mentioned it to Corinne the morning after. And she was like, oh yeah, he does get seen quite a lot, and it leaves people wondering like, oh, did you actually see what you saw? And that has been like the most profound experience I've probably had, because I feel like I'm quite a rational, sort of like pragmatic person, and I'll be able to explain stuff away, but I cannot explain why I saw very definitely a head and shoulders of a man standing at the far side of this restaurant. It was so weird.
And I think as well, the fact that you were able to say it to Corinne the next morning and she was like, oh, yeah, people see him. And it leaves them questioning whether or not they saw him. Because, of course, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, you're on a paranormal investigation, which are famously boring and cold. I always tell people that. They're like, oh, it looks so exciting because of things like Ghost Adventures. And you're like, nothing happens for hours. Nothing. And you're tired and it's cold. So you're going to be in the mindset of, I probably didn't see that. But when these things stick with you and you're like, I don't know, I feel like I did, and somebody's able to validate it, that is wild. And isn't the Jamaica Inn meant to be haunted by like a highwayman? Or am I making that up?
I think it is, yeah. I mean, it's haunted by everything. There's so much going on there anyway. But yeah, no, this shadowy man that people may or may not think they see, they don't know who it is, what's going on there. But yeah, just like it couldn't have even been my husband, because I would have seen him move, like shuffle away or whatever. It was there and gone, like that quickly. Yeah,
like
it was
flash.
Just so weird. Yeah, that's definitely been the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me so far.
And what do you think, this is, again, off-piste, what do you think was the thing that got you into the paranormal?
In a world where January is supposed to be boring, one staple of the holidays refuses to end. The great deals at Verizon. The joy just keeps on coming. Right now, you can save on 4 new phones and 4 lines. Critics agree it's the deal that keeps on giving. Come into Verizon and save on 4 new phones and 4 lines on unlimited welcome. Additional terms apply. See Verizon.com for details.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can be a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help you find options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
I think probably like a lot of people our sort of age, it was like Most Haunted, watching Most Haunted growing up and things like that. Like that was kind of like a lot of people's gateway drug into all of this. I would also, again, have to sleep with a light on after watching it because of Yvette's creepy voicing over of the story and everything, and all of the darkness. But
because nothing ever really happened on Most Haunted. A lot of pebbles were thrown, but that was sort of it.
Yeah, a lot of screaming going on. But yeah.
Yeah, but not very much like spooky stuff. I would have to suggest. And if one cryptid was proven to be real, what cryptid would you want it to be and why?
Ooh. Right. So it's a pretty popular answer. And I'm going to have to say Mothman, but not because of like, okay, that junk in the trunk is legendary and so now it's proven real. But it's like, it's the implications of what that means if Mothman is actually real. So I haven't read a huge amount into it. It's just like bits and pieces that I've picked up that have maybe gone a bit, that's a bit weird. But it's sort of like the physics of how a man like that could fly with wings like that. Apparently that's impossible. Glowing red eyes, that's not something that you find in nature. Also, probably the creepiest part of it all, if he was an omen, then how did he know that that was going to happen? And also, why didn't he try and intervene? Was he just there to observe? That's also very unsettling, that you're just there to watch what humans do with that situation, or like
with disaster.
It just raises a lot of questions. Yeah, it's getting into a bit of like Rick and Morty level sci-fi there, but I think that would be kind of groundbreaking. There may be societal collapse if we found out about that with all of these new questions that would come up. But maybe I just like to watch the world burn.
Have you seen the link between, or link, I don't know if link is the right term, maybe it's a loose term, between Mothman and Chernobyl?
Oh, I have not.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one. So there's obviously people who believe that Mothman is an omen of disaster. And there are reports from Chernobyl that some of the workers in Chernobyl saw a huge winged creature in the days leading up to the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And again, that's terrifying. Like, why are you there? Does that mean that you knew that was going to happen? That's creepy.
If Mothman exists, I don't think he's like specific to Point Pleasant in Virginia. Like, I think Mothman is knocking around other places.
But then also there's also that theory that there's like portals and like that's where he just appears and then he's interdimensional and all that sort of stuff.
Anything to do with interdimensional beings makes my head swim. Like it freaks me out so much. And the more I read about the paranormal, because I'm quite a skeptic in that I think there's often psychological or physical reasons for paranormal experiences, right? That's a reasonable thing to say. But the more I read things and people send me stories and whatever, I'm like, well, it's all time slips. Everything is a time slip. Everything that ever happens is a time slip, or, some sort of glitch in the matrix, or there's different timelines and we're all merging into different timelines, and it freaks me out.
I mean, yeah, I feel like the more you read as well, the more you feel like you don't understand, and will we ever understand? It's kind of scary to just be like standing at the cliff looking over into the abyss of like, oh, there's a lot of stuff down there. Like, that's kind of creepy.
So does that make do you think differently about hauntings in terms of like, so you had that experience in the Jamaica Inn, you saw that head and shoulders of a man for a split second. Like, in your opinion, is that like the soul, the entity, the spirit of a person that once lived, or is it some sort of timeline situation? What is your take on it?
I think for that specifically, I think it was probably just some sort of residual energy, sort of like echo, maybe. Just because if it was an actual like soul or some sort of intelligent entity, we've been calling out for hours and hours. Were you just like popping up to me and then going, just be like, psych, hey, I'm there, no one else can see me, kind of thing, which, okay, I understand the humor, fine. But yeah, to like have nothing else going on and then me just see that for a split second and then it was gone. Was it just that there was a little bit of energy going on there, or like what? I'm not entirely sure, but
would you call yourself a staunch believer?
Probably. I want to say that I'm a skeptic, but I do give people the benefit of the doubt a lot.
Yeah.
And I would have said that I'm a skeptical believer before what happened to me last month. And then it's like, oh no, maybe there is actually something going on here that I can't explain and I can't rationalize it away. There was a light behind him, so like I should have been able to see that light. It was, yeah, it's kind of shifted my whole frame of thinking. So yeah, it's been an interesting time trying to unpack it, but I do still look at all of the stories that I research and everything with a pinch of salt, because I was never there when these things happen to people. I don't know what's going on. And I do feel like a lot of the time people have experiences that could be very easily explained away. But they want so badly to see a ghost that they're willing to overlook that kind of way.
Yeah, I agree. I think that sometimes, especially when you're in that situation where you've gone to a paranormal investigation or whatever, you kind of don't want to feel like you've wasted the time. You know what I mean? Especially when you're there all night and you're calling out and you're looking for answers and you're looking for responses. I do think that sometimes people take the smallest thing and they're like, oh, this is evidence or proof or whatever. And that's no shade. Like, I would probably do the same thing if I had been in a cold castle for 12 hours and I was tired and, you know, just a bit annoyed. I'd be like, yeah, ghosts are real, I'm leaving.
Proven it, don't need to prove it anymore, it's done.
So what's been your favourite Don't Scare Claire video to make so far?
I would have to say that it's been the On Location episode that we did. I can't even remember when we did it now. I think it was 2024 it went out, where we actually went to Epping Forest and we recorded sort of like a documentary kind of piece all about the history and the hauntings of Epping Forest. That was obviously super cool to actually go out and be talking about it in the place where this thing happened, kind of thing. But I feel like that's the beauty of what I am able to do, in that because I'm sitting in my spare bedroom with a velvet blanket behind me, I can talk about a different location anywhere in the world each week. Like every single week I'm learning about something new. So I do tend to get a little bit obsessed with every single story that I talk about. But yeah, so obviously Epping Forest has got to take top spot. But yeah, story wise, there's been so many. But I would actually have to say, as a series, Disneyland has been incredibly interesting to learn about. Hence the fact I think I'm on like part 5 of that now, and I've still got more to talk about. So yeah.
Yeah, Disneyland is crazy. I did an episode on Disneyland recently, and it's like, like you, I was like, well, this could be a 10-part series. There's so much to unpack.
Yeah, the Reddit threads of like cast members talking about what they've experienced. And I think I've got like 3 books now that are just full of what cast members have reported and things. It's just utterly wild that a place designed for like this family-friendly magic, obviously there are unfortunately deaths. That is just a part of life. And by extension of that, it's now super haunted. It's just utterly wild.
Yeah, it is crazy to think about. I'm not familiar, I don't think, with Epping Forest. Briefly, sorry, again, I'm putting you on the spot. Briefly,
No,
like
okay.
what happened in Epping Forest and why did you choose to go there to do a documentary style episode?
So Epping Forest, this is really dredging back into my memory of like 2024 now, but
a great reason for people to go and watch the video, because they'll be able to see the full documentary. So at least there's that.
Definitely. And then they'll probably know more than me because I won't remember. It's a super ancient, I think it's a yew forest, like yew trees. And so it was a royal hunting ground for centuries. Henry VIII hunted there, as well as Elizabeth I. They had hunting lodges there. It was also said to be sort of like a hideout for Dick Turpin himself. He's probably the one ghost that I talk about the most on my channel because he is absolutely everywhere. But he is actually supposed to be around Epping Forest. There's also, what I didn't know was there are a lot of different like ponds and like bodies of water all over Epping Forest. And one of these, there was this murder that happened. And so now this particular pond, it drives people to want to end their lives, but nobody knows which specifically this pond is, supposedly. There's just a lot of things going on, a lot of murders, even more recent murders as well. So many people having weird experiences in there. It's probably not a place you want to find yourself after dark kind of thing. So yeah, when I was putting it all together, I was like, I need to go here because number one, it looks creepy as all hell with all of like yew trees looking all twisted and gnarled. But also there was just so much to talk about as well.
Yeah, it really sounds like it. And do you know what? You're right. Dick Turpin gets everywhere.
Yeah, him and Anne Boleyn, they're just everywhere.
Everywhere. And also everyone thinks they're related to Dick Turpin, which I also think is hilarious.
Yes, yeah. And also, is that a claim to fame? Like, I know that he's romanticized as this people. Yeah, exactly. He's not a very nice man.
Yeah, I was at his grave recently, and then I was doing some like research into like him as a person, and I was like, oh, you really have been romanticized because you were not a very nice man.
Yep, exactly. It's it does make me smile when people pull that card out. But yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, I know, it's wild. And kind of speaking of like, you know, local legends and whatever, is there a famous paranormal story or a legend that is famous in your area that really scared you as a child?
Yes. So I grew up not too far away from Tamworth. And for those not familiar, Tamworth has its very own castle because it was like super important to the Kingdom of Mercia way back in the day. And as a kid growing up in that area, it was an easy win for schools to go on school trips to Tamworth Castle and learn about all of that. So we used to go quite often. I think it was like once every couple of years, just with the school. And one of the ghost stories there, it centers around what's called the haunted bedroom. And what happened was there was this Lord Marmion who was living at the castle at the time. And he was said to be not a very nice man. And he threw the nuns out of an abbey in Polesworth, which is not too far away. So just took the abbey for himself and left them basically homeless. And so these nuns were absolutely fuming and they started praying to St. Editha, who had been the one that had started this abbey in the first place. Apparently what happened was the ghost of St. Editha appeared to this Lord Marmion while he was in bed in this haunted bedroom and told him that basically like you need to give the nuns back their house kind of thing. And so he woke up, he was like, yeah, all right. She smacked him with a crozier, which is like the holy stick thing that they have. And he had this wound on him that just wouldn't heal until he gave the nuns back this abbey. And so that's kind of like the story of what happened. But Tamworth Castle, back in the very early 2000s, they had the haunted bedroom set up with mannequins in it. But the black lady, she had this like, it was like a projection onto her face. And then it was like motion sensor. Like if you trip the motion sensor when you walked into the bedroom, it would start replaying this ghostly encounter. And as a kid on one of these school trips, I'm like no older than 10 years old at this point. I got lost from the group and I was like running around like, I don't know which way to go. I kept on running through the haunted bedroom and tripped the motion sensor. And so all I remember in my tiny little mind was the black lady appearing to Lord Marmion. And the words ingrained in my brain is, Lord Marmion, take heed. And that's how it started. And I soiled myself. I was so scared because I didn't know what was going on. It was just a motion sensor, but to me, the ghost of the Black Lady was coming to hit me with the stick. So yeah, that's the ghostly thing, but I have a very traumatic connection to it as well. That was not paranormal.
But it's amazing though when you're a kid that you're like, well, this is the end. Actually, this
Yeah.
this is the end.
So this is how I die. Cool.
Yeah, brilliant. In a random castle, in emotions, and it doesn't even occur to you when you're a kid that it's like you're tripping a motion sensor and it's okay. This is just a story. You're like, well, this is real. This story is real. This really happened to this man, and now I'm experiencing it. So the end.
Yeah. Now she's appearing to me. Great. I've got to give the nuns back their abbey.
Yeah, it's my fault apparently.
Yeah.
I love old stories where somebody has like, you know, a haunted wound and it won't heal until they do what they're meant to do. I love those kinds of stories. They're great.
Yeah, definitely. Does make you wonder, hygiene at the time may have had something to do with it, but who am I to debunk that story? So
yeah, who are you to say that a saint didn't appear to him in his dream and whack him with a big stick and cause a wound that doesn't heal? Who are you to say that? So final question for you. Why should people watch your channel? And obviously, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you should watch my channel if you do like the history behind haunted places. I go into a lot of history. Some say too much and just get to the ghosts, but I like to give the context behind why things have happened. So as an example, I have just been researching Bodmin Jail. And the history there was utterly brutal. I think I had to edit it down about 4 times to not trigger the YouTube algorithm in what I was saying. But if you like hearing the history that gives context to why these hauntings occur or why people believe that certain spirits are said to still haunt the place, then that is why you should watch my channel, because that is pretty much all I talk about, as well as all of the hauntings and everything that people have experienced. So yeah, you can find me on YouTube, obviously, at Don't Scare Claire. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram. I think those are the 2 at the minute. Again, Don't Scare Claire. So that's where you can find me.
Claire, thank you so much for giving up your Sunday afternoon to chat to me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no, thank you very much for having me. It's a very full circle moment for me because I've been listening to the podcast for a long time. So, thank you.
Oh, that brings me such joy. And I hope listeners slash watchers are like, yes, we did it. we got them to collab on something.
Yes, the power of the audience.
Claire, thank you so much. I'm going to let you go now and enjoy your Sunday.
Thank you very much, Emma. It was great to chat with you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching your insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.